Rich Rodriguez, from KJ Harris, Big Joe, Kevin Koken, T.O.R.
And man, just keep doing what you're doing because you have a message.
I think one of the greatest college running backs ever, obviously in the history of West Virginia, but also if you look at the stats, what he did in college football.
West Virginia fans, listen. I told you I got a special one today, and I definitely do. This man, you can just look at him and tell who he is. So I'm just going to go without further ado and just say, Mike Logan, I appreciate you for taking the time out of your busy schedule, man, to join me on my show, Relatively Sports, man. Thank you.
Bro, I'm honored to be here. Been tuning in, trying to catch episodes when I can, man. Love what you're doing. Love food. And when you asked me, I felt, you know what I'm saying? Honored to be here on the show, bro.
Man, well, listen, again, this is an honor for me because I wanted to chop it up with you a while ago about a few different things, my good brother. But I'm going to start first off. How's the family? Everybody good?
Everybody's good, bro. You know, we're in good spirits. Dad's dealing with a little bit right now, but you know, that's what sons and kids are supposed to do. It's time for us to switch them roles. You know, he took care of me and provided me with the life and raised me to be a quality young man, and I'm trying to reciprocate that back and, you know, take care of him. But we're blessed, man. I'm not going to complain about anything. I'm grateful to just get up and breathe another day.
I know that's right. Now, we're going to take this way back because I got to ask you, why WVU?
There's actually, there's a couple funny stories for my road to West Virginia. I actually have some roots to the state of West Virginia. My father's grandfather was Summers, and then this guy that was born in Pittsburgh went down there and became one of the best quarterbacks to ever play at West Virginia University, and Major Harris. So that's how I got to know and identify that WV on the side of that blue helmet from a football perspective. But my road to West Virginia was a labyrinth, man. It's deep, man. And if you don't mind, I'll come around about.
Absolutely.
We good?
Good, absolutely.
Okay. So, you know, being born and raised in Pittsburgh, obviously a sports town. You know, we know they got a professional team here that has hoisted up that Lombardi Trophy a few times. You know, I mean, a few times. Actually got to use two hands when you identify them when it comes to wearing, have a Super Bowl. So that was the ultimate dream for me, growing up on the south side of Pittsburgh, being born on the south side of Pittsburgh, raised in the Mon Valley. There was plenty of days when I got on the Colbin and Whitaker projects with my Hills Department shirt on with number 88 or number 32 or number 12, emulating all the great stars from the Pittsburgh Steelers, saying that I was going to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And, you know, in order to get to that level and get to that road, I thought that it obviously had to go through the University of Pittsburgh. So right. When I was playing high school football, I really thought that Pitt was going to offer me a full scholarship and I was going to go to Pitt. And then, you know, that childhood dream is to go to Pitt, get drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers, play for your hometown team. And that didn't happen. Pitt did not offer me a full scholarship when I was coming out of high school. Coach Hackett, I think he was the coach at the time. They didn't think that I would, be a great student athlete. And rightfully so. You know, in high school, I was kind of a knucklehead, tardied the class a lot. Actually didn't, have my scores until one of the last few tests. So they didn't offer me for whatever reason, you know what I mean? But it fueled something in me to where I said, I'm going to y'all biggest rival and I'm going to kick y'all ass for the next 4 years. And I'm just being blunt. It fueled something in me so heavy that I was like, man, I got to take it out on them. And ironically, my best friend who was on my team at that time in high school, his name was Jason Chavis. He went to Pitt. And I told that dude, bro, I'm giving it to you every time we play y'all.
Right.
And lo and behold, and I went undefeated against Pitt, during my tenure at West Virginia. So I'm 4-0 in them backyard brawls, man. So I got bragging rights. You know what I mean?
I love it. I love it. You know what's so funny, man? You know my road to West Virginia as well. I started at Pitt.
Right.
And my older sister passed away, unfortunately, during my freshman year under Foge Fazio. God bless him to the grave. He went as well. And I just didn't like the way they handled her death. I didn't like it. It was just a really awkward situation for me. So transferring to WVU, I had the same feeling you had, but for different reasons. You know what I mean? I'm like, I took 5 more visits.
Right.
Like, nah. I'm coming to Morgantown, right. and every time we play you, I'm going to give you the business. So,
no doubt, man.
I can relate. And you know what, Mike? That wound up being one of the best decisions of my young life, transferring to WVU, because Don Nehlen had a different way of seeing things. He had a different way of the maturation, helping you to become from a young man into a man, and helping to the things that my mom taught me at the house. He was preaching that in Morgantown back then. He wasn't having it. You know, you played for him. He wasn't having it. Those shenanigans, I remember, I used to wear the long towels. He would come with the scissors. You know what I mean? You wasn't out there looking like, what do you say? You're not looking like uniform.
Putting that crooked finger in your face, letting you know that it ain't going down like that, man.
I appreciated that. In watching you play, bro, I got to tell you this. The way you play the game is the way that I'm hoping that most of these young people, when they look at what it means to put on that uniform and what it means to play for the state, the way you played was so infectious. You had a way about your game that I enjoyed watching it. And I always wanted to tell you the love and admiration I had for you as a person, on top of being the player that you were. You had no idea, bro. I mean, myself, A.B. Brown, some of us, we really looked up to what you did and the standard that you set at that position.
Right.
And I'm like, yo, man, yeah, he's that one. You know what I mean? Like, that guy plays the game the way it's supposed to be played. Every down. I never saw you take a down off.
Hey, man, that's the ultimate compliment when you have the respect from the elders of the game, those who have come before you and set a path, and you can come and emulate that and try to take it to the next level. That's down and how y'all did things. It was one of the reasons, I was so proud to put on that gold and blue and go out there and represent every day, every practice out on the line. The way my body was beat up, you know what I mean? I suffered a lot of injuries, a lot of beat down from the and so getting that compliment from you and hearing it to my ears, man, just lets me know that I played the game the right reasons, and hopefully when people watch my effort that we want to give every time we go out on the field.
You better say, absolutely. Listen, you better say less. Absolutely. You ain't got to say a word. Just throw that film on.
Hey, no, that film don't lie. That eye in the sky do not lie, man.
Not lie. So the funny thing, moving from the collegiate level to the pro level, what was the hardest transition for you? What was the hardest thing?
It was, truthfully, people talk about the speed of the game. And the physical speed of the game definitely elevated because you're playing with grown men. These are grown men out on that NFL field. Don't get it fooled. This is not this is not a knock at the NBA, but you ain't coming from high school and going to the NFL. You know what I'm saying? You definitely ain't ready for that. That was a small aspect for me though, because I was like, okay, I know I got speed. I can definitely build up and get a little stronger. But the mental speed of the game was the biggest transition for me to learn, because I actually switched positions when I got to the pros after my first year. I went from playing corner to playing safety. And people will say, well, they're both defensive backs. There's a world of difference between those two positions. And, when I got down to Jacksonville, Tom Coughlin said, listen, I need you to become a young leader in this secondary and be able to command the huddle, be able to make the calls, be able to make the adjustments, be able to move and shift and get in position when the offense calls an audible. And I'm looking at him like, I ain't ready for that. You know what I mean? I'm just being honest with myself. I was like, physically, I think I can go out there and play with him, but mentally, making the adjustments on the fly, I mean, the speed of that to me was the hardest thing to grasp. And it took me several years to get that, to really get it down to where, not only knowing what you're supposed to do and where you're supposed to be on the field, but knowing where your opponent is trying to get to and how he's trying to get there, breaking down film, learning every aspect of your opponent on a weekly basis, man. I'm talking about that was the hardest thing to grasp for me. And it wasn't just like, go out there and Jerry Rice is going to run an out pattern. Okay. I'm like, cool. I'm going to jump that. But you got to think, right. Jerry Rice is not running an out route like Marvin Harrison is running an out route. Some people might cut that cut down at 9 yards. Some people might cut it down at 10. You got to be aware of the down and distance. Is he going to the sticks now? Those are the intricate things that I was like, oh my goodness, I got to learn this on the fly. You got to pick it up. And it was difficult, bro. That was the biggest transition for me from the collegiate level to the pros.
It's funny you say that. I talk to my son all the time about that. And obviously he's a DB coach at Rhode Island. So he's coaching the nickels, the corners, and the safeties. Woo. The whole back end. So when we're talking, from an IQ standpoint, like you said, he's talking about, you got to know you're looking by alignment on the hash, by alignment, 2x1s, you know what I mean? If the trips or whatever, you got to know, okay, what can they possibly run out of that package? Just by alignment. Right. So he's teaching his DBs, listen, if a joke is lined up and they're 2x2, okay, 2x2, what could they possibly run out of that alignment? Like, he's really ahead of the way he's teaching them. He's teaching them NFL concepts on a collegiate level.
And I will give kudos to our coaches back then, all of them, from Steve Dunlap, who went up and used to watch the Pittsburgh Steelers defense get them that zone blitz scheme, to Kevin Ramsey, who coached in the pros, to Jerry Holmes, who played in the pros and coached in the pros. Those are the men who taught me. So it's funny though. But when I got to West Virginia, I got recruited as a tailback. I actually never played a down of cornerback until my high school all-star game, the Big 33 up in Hershey, Pennsylvania, where we played against the all-stars from Maryland. We had it was 1991, 92. We had 7 all-state running backs come up to the Big 33. And I remember the coach saying, listen, all of y'all are great, but if y'all all play running back, you're only going to get a few carries, and you probably ain't going to play much more than half quarter. I said, listen, bro, I got half of Pittsburgh up here watching me up in Hershey, and I need to be out on that field.
Right.
He said, if you play cornerback, you probably played quarters. I said, I play cornerback. I played free safety, which was basically a rover in high school. So I don't know if I got the feet for that. And lo and behold, a Hall of Fame cornerback who a future Hall of Famer taught me in 3 days how to play cornerback. So Ty Law, Much love to you, brother. I appreciate you for starting my journey to get down to West Virginia, to transfer to a cornerback and be able to make a pro career out of it. So that tells you he was a hell of a teacher, because I'm telling you, 3 days, he had me backpedaling. He had me open my hips. He was like, I know you physical, so you can tackle. I'll show you how to get your hands on them. But that man taught me how to play cornerback in 3 days, and I was able to parlay that into over a decade career in the National Football League.
But you want to know some kudos to him, but Mike, kudos to you to be able to pick that up and to be open. Because, let me tell you something. I was a tailback my whole career. Only time they put me in high school at, let's say, a corner or whatever, is I played my senior year. I was always a tail. So being recruited, when schools came, I think Iowa was the only school said we probably want to look at you on defense as well. My thing was, I nah, we ain't doing all that.
Hey,
I wasn't open to it. You got to be open to it.
You definitely have to be open to it. And when I got to West Virginia, I still thought I was tough. I thought I was going to be that dude. I went into the running back room for the first week, and I went up there and I'm thinking I'm going to be, you got to get noticed. So I went to the front seat and sat down. You got to be close to the teacher. You're going to get the most teaching, whatever. They said, young man, that's my seat. I'm looking like, oh, well, who this? Upperclassmen. They said, listen, since Mike Logan in here, he think he top notch. Why don't y'all introduce yourself to him? And they sat like basically by the depth chart, like one here, the starter here, front row, the backup here. So they standing up. Adrian Morrell, Mr. Hawaii, second seat, Garrett Ford Jr., Mr. West Virginia, you know what I mean? Third seat, Jimmy Garrett, Okeechobee, Florida, Parade All-American. Fourth seat, Robert Walker, Mr. West Virginia. I'm like, woo, they got some heavy hitters in this room. So I was like, I don't know if I'm going to get the rock that much, you know what I mean? Went over to the other side, Coach Dunlap, like, listen, we seen what you did on film. We think you'll be able to compete. And lo and behold, man, 4 defensive backs. I came in with a great group of defensive backs. My PA mate, Aaron Beasley, my Florida brothers, Van Washington and Charles Emanuels, they ended up calling us the Four Amigos. And we was like, bro, we coming out here to play. And I ended up getting red shirt. I ended up breaking my arm getting red shirt. And Aaron Beasley actually played as a true freshman, got some playing time. And we was like, man,
you froze up just a little bit. But you know what? I'm going to tell you what was funny. I remember that whole deal like it was yesterday. And boy, again, was it a pleasure to see you guys on just navigating that secondary like, yo, we own all this. This is our real estate. Come back here if you want to see it happen.
Right.
I used to love that. Those are the things that I miss. And I want to ask you this, Mike. Do you get a chance to watch the product that's on the field now? Do you get a chance to watch a lot of the games?
So this is something that is near and dear to my heart right now. The alumni relationship that we have, varsity and the football, is something that I feel like we need to put in some work at. You know what I mean? On both sides. We want to be a part of that university and that program. We felt like we earned the right to do that. Yes, there's going to be turnover at every university. There's going to be coaching changes. There's going to be, different people in different roles. But the people who play at West Virginia, like you said, it means something to it. So, we got group threads of guys from different eras and different generations where we chopping it up and talking, but we don't have the great communication and rapport with the university and the program that I feel like we need. And I don't think, I won't blame it completely on them. I'll blame it a little bit on us too, as far as coming together and making sure that we have some people who are leading the charge. And, it's a lot. So it's a lot of responsibility to do that. So we've been talking about that now. I do get back to a couple games every year. I just went down to the backyard brawl. My family came up from Beckley. That's something that I can really cherish and make family memories at, down in Morgantown with my family from Beckley and my family from Pittsburgh coming down and uniting. So we want that. So we're in the process of doing better on both sides. We started up some things this year with the backyard brawl. The varsity tent was gone, but now we're trying to get that back so we can have a place to gather and fellowship. Because when we went down there for the game, without a tent, we're trying to communicate. The phone service ain't really working, so we can't find out where everybody's at. We want to gather together and reminisce and really get together and chop it up and check on one another, see how their well-being is, and see how we can relate to the program. See how we can tap in and touch the guys who are out there right now representing that pride and that storied tradition that we laid the foundation for so it can continue to go on. And I'm not feeling that right now, but hopefully with, work, prayer, supplication, application, we'll get that done.
Absolutely. And you know what, Mike, I love it. And kudos, I agree with you 110%. So that's something that we definitely have to do.
No doubt.
And you're right. It's a cumulative thing. We all have to put our hands in that and get back there and say, look, here's what we would like to do, because it's all positive. It's all productive. There's nothing negative about that. You know what I mean? We love the university. We love what we helped to build. And we just want to see it continue to flourish. That's all. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Listen, I got a lot of pride about, where I went to school at, not only just being on the football field, where I got my education at, and we want to show that, I talked to a lot of my friends who went to different schools and university, and, their alumni association or the university sends them some paraphernalia so they can represent and show, okay, when we was there, it was a commitment to excellence. So they sending you a commitment to excellence, so you felt like you're a part of that excellent program. Whatever they got now, the trust to climb or something, send some of that, send some of the old guys some of that.
Absolutely. So
we can go out here and start commitment to excellence that we had when we was there. We combine that together. You trust in the climb and committing excellence. That's double. That's tenfold. You know what I mean? That's tenfold to a young man who's trying to develop, and then to look at us and say, well, he went on to do this or he went on to do that, but they're still coming back here to unite with us on a united front for us to move forward. That's all positive.
Absolutely. No, I love it. I love it. Shoot. So you know what? You got me so amped up. When I get off here, I got to email President Gee. I got to hit President Gee up. It's like, yeah, we really need to do that. Again, it's all positive. It's all productive. It's stuff that we definitely need to do. That's for sure. Listen, I know your schedule is tight.
Hey, let's make it happen.
I know no doubt. I know your schedule was tight. I need to do a round 2 with you, with Mike Logan. So I'm gonna hit you offline because this 30 minutes went so freaking quick. I'm gonna hit you offline to find out when we can do part 2. Is that possible?
You still there, bro?
Yeah, I'm still here. Could you hear me?
All right. Yeah, we froze up a little bit. I think that's my shabby internet service here. That's my son's soccer practice, man. I'm sitting in the car chopping it up,
That's okay. I was saying this 30 minutes went by so fast. We got to do a part 2. I know your schedule is busy. I'm gonna hit you offline and we can figure out when we can do a part 2.
Let's do it, man.
I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. Listen, please give your family my best. Wishing your son. Man. I know he got to be a beast out there playing soccer.
Oh man, listen, this is such an enjoyment watching my young kids. I got 3 older children. Got my young kids out here now just exploring and doing everything. And I'm loving it because I got the time to support it now and be here and watch them. But the thing is that what I love about it is they don't look to me and say, well, Dad, I got to do this, I got to do that to try to emulate who you were. They're developing their own personalities, their own way to work, their own work ethic. My young son goes out and plays soccer in my backyard. Man, I planted some new grass seed out there, and it's brown, bruh. is down to the ground, and I don't even mind. I'm like, listen, y'all outside, y'all putting in work. He wants to be the best at what he's doing, and he's 7 years old. He's teaching my 5-year-old to do that. You know what I mean? And this is on their own. So I'm like, look, Dad is here supporting. I don't mind being soccer dad. You know, I'll get the minivan. I got the wagon in the back with all their sports equipment back there. I'm rolling it up the hill. I'm trudging. I'm buying I'm buying the shirts of each program that we in, and I'm sitting up here having a grand old time with my babies, man. And that's what life is to me right now, man. I'm enjoying it. I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and I'm forever grateful to my higher power, who I believe in, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for allowing me to do this, bro. I mean, I'm really spirited and charged up about where I am and what I'm able to do with my life right now, and it's only by His grace.
Absolutely, brother. The next part 2 with Mike Logan, we gonna get into that conversation.
Let's do it. Let's do it. And I'm gonna be somewhere where the Wi-Fi is on point, and I'm gonna be able to, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But this is it. This is the realness. I'm glad that it froze up on us, because nothing they can do can stop us from prospering and having this conversation. It don't matter if you cut the internet off. We'll jump right back on it. We'll pick up like we never left, and we'll celebrate together collectively and get this stuff, you know what I mean, out to the people so they can hear it, man, and see and just enjoy it. Like I said, have some fellowship with us, brother.
Absolutely. Mike, I appreciate you, bro. I really do. Please give my best regards to the family. And look, and one of these days, I got to come and check you out on your turf. I got to do that.
Listen, you like you never left. You was up in Pittsburgh. You come up here, I'm gonna treat you like you never left, baby. So whenever you want to do it, let's chop it up, man. Please give regards to your family as well. Your son, he ever need to holler at me, he got my number. Your beautiful wife, I always, you know, try to download the music, hit a little whop on it, you know what I'm saying, when I can. But, bro, you know how we do, man. You know how we do. We family. I love y'all, man. Let's get this part 2 cracking. I'm ready to roll.
No, love you as well, bro. I'll be in touch.
Much love.
Got it.